Hello and welcome to True Guidance Tarot. I'm Adriana. I'm an intuitive reader, and today I have a message for the earth signs. This is for Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I do really love doing these messages for you, and I'm so grateful that I can share the information with you. So thank you again for spending some time. If you're feeling at all compelled during this reading to comment or like below, I'd appreciate it. I do love hearing from you. And let's get straight to your reading. This is an interesting one. And a very actually kind of exciting one. We have the energy around you is the world. Now you feel you're going to respond to it with the energy of the Fool. Now this is just having these two cards together. It makes me so excited as a tarot reader because the world represents the end, that you've gone on this huge journey through the tarot cards and you finally come to the completion. And it's this deep sense of I've really accomplished something big. And when we do tarot readings, sometimes it filters down to like, I got a promotion, or I finished the project, or we finally bought that house. Kind of like tangible goals, but in an esoteric sense, it talks about a huge stage of completion that then brings you to the next level and you kind of start the process again. And that's what we have, the Fool, the Zero card, the beginning of the cycle. So then we go through all the tarot cards and end back. It goes in a circle, in a cycle, which lovely. Look at all these circles on here. Circle, circle. But what this means is that you have accomplished something big in your personal development. You have accomplished a big landmark, a big achievement. And this is going beyond those mundane things I talked about, like buying the house, or this is representing a big stage of your soul development. Now you respond to this with the Fool, kind of like, well, actually, I don't know what I just accomplished, and I still need to keep myself moving, and I'm not sure where I'm going next. So you've already moved on, like you're not resting on your laurels anymore, you're moving on. And the thing with the Fool card, it's called the Fool because when you don't know, that means you have the most potential to know, to gain knowledge. And so there's an innocence with this card, but there's an also feeling of ungroundedness, like you're kind of not sure what's going to happen. You're not really sure what's next, and you're not sure if things are going to work or not. And so there's just kind of this feeling of instability and security. And for earth signs, that can create a feeling of anxiety, because earth signs like stable. We like things to be, calm and in a box and orderly, and we don't like instability. We don't like change. We don't like these things. So, keep this in mind, that the reason why you're feeling a little bit shaky is actually because you have accomplished something big. Some chapter has wrapped up and concluded, but, now you're like, it's time to move on. So, advice, we go back down into the minor arcana. We've got the Three of Swords, we have the Five of Wands, and then we have the Ace of Swords. Oh, Ace of Wands. Now, the Ace of Wands, let's just focus on this card for a second. It's talking about that spark of your heart. And if I can give you one message from this reading, is that these cards are asking you to tune in more strongly to that energy of your heart. And so this means in your meditation, just taking some time to really connect with that heart chakra, whether that's visualizing the color green, breathing into the back, the sides, and the front, and the middle of the heart. There's something about you needing to expand the heart energy so that you can just sit quietly with it. So, it's really trite to say, well, just follow your heart. But, earth signs like, yeah, okay, but I got to do the practical thing. But this whole point of that chapter wrapping up and this new beginning you're going on is that from now on, your heart really wants to be more in the driver's seat. But right now, it's just like a little spark. Like it hasn't burst into flame yet. It's not a solid pillar of light. It's just a little spark. And so there's this feeling that you need to just sit quietly with the heart energy. And actually, and this is the perfect time of year to do this, just sitting in a green place with no distractions. So sitting in the grass in the park, or sitting out in the woods, just sitting close to nature, as far away from the people and the distractions and the man-made structures as you can, that can actually really help you connect to that heart energy, because green is the color of the heart energy. Now let's get to this other stuff. Again, we talk about that instability, the shakiness you feel. And that's exactly what we've got. We've got you, this new direction is kindling those heart fires, but you're rushing too quickly. You're like, okay. All right, I feel it, but I've got to get all this stuff done. That's our 5 of Wands. And your adrenaline's going, you're moving too fast. You're rushing and you're pushing yourself. You're putting more pressure than you need. And you're running straight into self-betrayal, the 3 of Swords. And that's feeling like you have stabbed yourself in the heart and you don't know what it is. So, rather than doing that, let's focus on building that flame. Let's focus on being more comfortable with that flame. Let's focus on increasing the energy of your heart so that when you come to a decision, when you come to an interaction with someone, you're actually feeling that energy you felt in your meditation, guiding your interactions. So I'm not talking about getting touchy-feely and all of a sudden hugging everyone and like being like that. I'm talking about just tuning into that subtle energy of the heart so that you learn to trust it, that you're building a relationship with it. This can often represent the start of a love affair, but they specifically said that is not the case for you here. The case for you here is actually the beginning of a passionate relationship with your heart energy. And that's generally not where we like to go, like I said, as earth signs, because of the investment of energy it takes to be in that heart. But it's just asking you to be friendly with it, to approach it like if there's, I don't know if you've ever interacted with an animal that's been abused, but you know how skittish they are, and they're kind of like, they're not sure how to interact with you. You can sometimes tell they want to be touched or they want to be petted, but they're just not sure what you're going to do. That's kind of how your heart's been. And so you've been wearing out your energy because that heart is just not sparking in the correct connection. So your heart has all this energy that longs to fuel your system, but when it's short-circuited, the energy just kind of goes all over the place, which is why you're running your adrenaline. So strong message, get friendly with that heart chakra. If the tools that I've suggested during the course of this reading don't resonate with you, please reach out in the comments. I have some other examples, and if you reach out, I might be able to give you something that will really speak to you, because the idea is you need to get a lot more friendly with that heart energy. So thank you again for joining me. Like I said, I really love doing these readings. If you would like a one-on-one session with me, please check out in the description below. I've got a link for you. And I wish you lots of joy with this process. It's not a bad process, because the heart energy is not as scary as we think it is. So I will look forward to seeing you next week, and have a good one.